Hello and welcome to this episode of the AI Show. My name is Seth Juarez. I'm so glad to be here on this fabulous Monday morning. We have some good stuff today. We have some good stuff this week too. Some cool stuff that I'll tell you about a little bit later. But it's been a fun couple of days. Just tell me in the chat where you're coming from. And I'll tell you what we're doing today, if you do not mind. Pandemic purchase here. My Wacom tablet. Sorry, I also bought a vocal processor, so sometimes I like to use it. You know what I'm saying? All right, so today, number one, right? We have the CTO of Docusign. They've gone through a cool rebrand, and they're doing some really cool stuff with AI. And, I always talk about, here's some stuff that you could do. I'm excited today because today it's stuff that you can actually do or people have done with AI. And so there's some cool stuff for CTO of Docusign. And then number two, I remember I left off on, I was building some prompt flow stuff that I never finished. So maybe finish or go through that. Prompt flow is a collection of tools that allows you to make LLM applications. So where's everybody coming from? Just put it in the chat. I'll do a little call out. So let me know where you're coming from. There's a ton of good people that come to this, and so I'm excited about that. But first, let's get to some news here of things that are going on. So let me bring this up here. And then number three, a preview of next week, which may come early, maybe early, early AI show gift for you. All right, so for today's news, obviously, Microsoft Build is happening. We have 29 days. Oh, this is making me nervous. 29 days, 0 hours, and 26 minutes for Microsoft Build. We got all these fine people giving some talks. I've met some of these people. Some of them I waved at and said, hello, sir. And that's it. So here, let's take a look at some sessions here real quick. Session catalog. Opening keynote. I love it. Next generation AI for developers. That looks good. A highly technical talk. I don't know. Maybe Hanselman's phoning it in now. Or maybe it's just genius. Maybe it's just genius. You know what I'm saying? Highly technical talk with a practical approach to securing RAG applications. Oh, look at this. Joylyn is amazing. She's fantastic. So you should go to this. But anyways, all of this stuff you can come to in person in Seattle, or you can watch online. Maybe I get to help out with that. But I don't know if announcements have been made about that. So I'm not going to say anything. Maybe I get to help out. I don't know. So these are the sessions. There's a ton of them. Let's see if I can buzzword this. AI. Or as we say in Mexico. All right. Looks like we have some folks coming to us from Seattle. Welcome. So good to see you, David. Another Seattle. Hello, my friend Hassan. Welcome. San Francisco Bay Area. Welcome. Suresh. My eyes are old. I'm looking here. So yeah. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about is news item number one is Microsoft Build, obviously. News item number two is the Microsoft AI Tour finishes up with the final stop in South Korea next week. And so make sure you go to that if you are in South Korea or if you just want to visit South Korea. I leave on Saturday for South Korea to go talk to developers about prompt flow, LLM applications, LLM ops, and my colleague Cassie, who she sometimes hosts the AI show. She will also be there as well. Both of us at the same time. We're not spotted together often. Some people think, and I know it's a bit of a conspiracy, but some people think we're the same person. Some people think. So for us to be in the same place at the same time, fantastic. Okay, so these are the two news items that I want to share with you. Microsoft AI Tour final stop, Seoul, South Korea. There's going to be some regional AI Tour events as well because I'm going to be in Europe the week after in a couple of cities. I'll tell you more about that at our next show, so that I can meet you there as well if you want to come out. But this has been a wonderful stop. I did a couple of these. I got to meet a lot of wonderful folks, and so thank you for that. And that, my friends, is the news. The news. And without further ado, I'm going to welcome up CTO of Docusign, Kamal. Hey, Kamal, how are you, my friend?
Hi. Hey, thank you for having me.
How are you doing, bud?
I'm doing amazing. How else would I be
Oh
on your
man, you
show?
are
Let's
so
just be.
kind. I know.
Yeah.
My mom probably gave you $10 to say that. It's money well
It
spent.
was it was a
Oh,
cousin's actually, but
see,
that's okay.
they're good. He needed
It's
a
all right.
whole troop of my family to pay. Thank you for being here. So, as you know, generally we have a
My
live part of
pleasure.
the show, and then we have the official part of the show. So, I thought we'd dig into the official part of the show, and then after, you okay sticking around answering some questions?
Yeah, of
All
course.
right, so I'm going to turn the music off. I'm going to move I bought a Wacom tablet during the pandemic because I thought I would need it,
Cool.
and so now I use it every week to pretend that I need it. Kamal, you know how that goes, or maybe
Sure
you don't.
do.
I don't know.
Oh, I do actually. Believe
We
me.
all have these
Yeah.
things we've like. Hey, I have a bass guitar over there that I promised myself I would practice every day. Um, I haven't, but don't tell anyone. All right, you ready? All right, here we go.
Absolutely.
So let me get this going here. You're not going to miss this episode of the AI Show where we talk about exploring the future of agreement management with Docusign here on the AI Show. Make sure you tune in. Here we go. Hello, welcome to this episode of the AI Show. We're talking all about exploring the future of agreement management with Docusign with my friend Kamal. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you.
Fantastic. So why don't you tell us who you are and what you do, and then we'll get into what Docusign does, even though everybody already knows, but we still got to do it.
Sure. So my name is Kamal Hathi. I'm the CTO at Docusign. Amongst other things, I run the engineering organization, operations, etc. I'm based out of Seattle. In fact, before DocuSign, I spent 22 years at
Oh,
Microsoft. I was on the other side, so it feels interesting to be on
I
this
love it.
side now. We at DocuSign, everybody uses DocuSign. I'm not sure anyone on the show hasn't used it, but we enable organizations to come to agreement, to sign agreements, to run their businesses on agreements and contracts. And we do way more than just people think about signature. We allow you to have the ability to do the end-to-end business processes that your agreements power to be done via DocuSign. So that comes how do you create the agreements, how do you go about finding them, managing them, signing them, and then overall integrating them the rest of your business processes. So DocuSign basically allows you to run your businesses in a meaningful
And
fashion.
this is awesome because I remember the first time I bought a house, there was a stack of papers. I kid you not.
Yeah.
This where I had to go and they moved in and we all had we had to have a meeting, where it was like a 45-minute sign some stuff. And I remember later on when I, moved up to Seattle, to work for Microsoft, they used DocuSign and it just changed everything for me. But you're telling me
Yeah.
there's much more, because for me as a consumer, I'm just signing things. But my sense is that as a person that makes agreements, there's a lot of challenges around that. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I mean, and it's for people who make them, but also people who
Oh,
work
true.
with them. So if you think about agreements today, even a digital agreements that you described, going to Microsoft and the stack of paper now is digital. But that those digital agreements are nothing more than pictures of those
Oh,
papers. Those PDFs are just opaque. Instead of holding in your hand, it's on your nice tablet now, but it's static, it's opaque. And these agreements have valuable business information that's just trapped inside these static files. And that costs time, money, and opportunity. In fact, Deloitte just did a recent study that around 2 trillion, trillion dollars are lost in global sort of economic value because of these agreements that are, nothing but having trapped information that can be extracted and used. So there's so much that can be done to make your life and the business's life much more effective by taking information out of these
so let's start
agreements.
with
And so
organizations,
enable that.
because I feel like that's the like what is it that DocuSign can do to help organizations? And I'm kind of biased towards AI. How can AI can help as well? And sorry, I cut you off.
Absolutely. So if you think about it, I said that this information is trapped in these documents. And our AI, DocuSign AI, extracts both the content, but also the intent of these agreements, the semantics of the agreement. So things like dates, parties, obligations, things that may not even be obvious to savvy business users without having a lawyer next to them. And we do this absolutely seamlessly for our customers. No big upfront work. You just upload the documents. They're already in DocuSign, and it just works. And the way this works is we have a new set of applications with this thing called DocuSign Navigator, which is part of our intelligent agreement management platform that just announced. And that's a tool that allows you to get this value out of agreements very easily and
And that's
seamlessly.
interesting because I guess as a consumer, I'm just thinking, wow, DocuSign made it easy for me to sign, and I can read it on. But for an organization that has maybe multiple agreements and has to understand what's in them and has to make sure what's going on, my sense is that that's a lot of work that needs to happen there.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. You have literally sometimes millions of agreements, documents, contracts, and you want to find out that one thing that's been bothering you. Maybe some law change. Now you need to go and find all the agreements that deal with, I don't know, LIBOR rate, or something has happened where you need to worry about obligations that are coming due, or maybe you want to go figure out how many contracts you have that you can actually terminate because you want to restructure your business. All kinds of things, and all of the truth, the only business truth that exists is in these agreements. It doesn't matter what anybody says. The contract is the contract. So how do you find all this stuff? How do you understand all this stuff? Well, DocuSign. That's the answer. We enable all this for you. Otherwise, you're back to that stack of paper, and you're going through it and trying to figure out,
It's
what do
kind
I
of it.
do? Hire a bunch of
Yeah, and it's kind of
contractors.
interesting. Like it just hit me like a ton of bricks. Doesn't matter what anyone says. It matters what legally everyone agreed to.
Exactly. That is the only truth that matters. That's the source. And DocuSign enables you to find, to understand, and to intelligently make sense of all these things. So that's
And
what
so
we do.
once you upload the agreement, I think you brought something to show us on what can happen
Yeah.
with these agreements. So let me get that going.
Yeah. Let's take a look. Let's go for it.
Once the agreement is signed, it's automatically uploaded into Docusign Navigator, a smart new repository built specifically for managing and analyzing agreements. Navigator helps you avoid unwanted auto renewals and provides insights that can help you negotiate the best renewal terms for your organization. With Navigator and some help from AI, it's faster than ever to locate specific agreements. You can find agreements based on their content by searching for similar words and phrases. Searching for carbon neutrality, for example, will yield search results including agreements that mention carbon neutrality, as well as related sustainability commitments, like those relating to greenhouse gas emissions. Pretty helpful, right? Or you can quickly find agreements using the main search bar. For example, let's search for the vendor FlexCorp, who we just signed that MSA with. Here, you can see all existing agreements with FlexCorp. Finally, Navigator also allows you to easily locate specific agreements by sorting and filtering on different attributes, such as contract type and party name.
I mean, this is really cool as I'm watching it, but this is the AI show. How is AI powering some of this functionality?
It's all powered by AI. Think about it. As the demo you saw, as soon as you have the agreements in the Docusign system, the things you saw there about the semantic search, for example, greenhouses versus emissions, the ability to find MSA, the types of agreements, and you saw columns there for dates. All that stuff is what I described before, locked in those agreements. It's not like it's the agreement document has all got all this stuff structured. It's all just plain opaque text. We crack it open, we structure it, we put it into a model. So now you can easily work with it. You can go find it, you can search it, you can go process it. But AI did the seamless work for the customer. There's nothing involved of understanding the document, literally understanding it, and then making it available so that it can be used for things like semantic search, for things like the sorting, the filtering. So the experience is simple. And that's really important. It's simple. It's not complicated. But the complicated work was done in the background by Docusign AI.
And that's really cool because I saw it, like even in the example, it's finding related things that semantically mean the same thing. It's not just a
Exactly.
keyword search there.
That's right. I mean, you saw the example there. Other examples sometimes people use are things like, there's a term called force majeure, which basically means, act of God or act. But no one understands that. People type in, am I covered for disaster? And we find the force majeure clause. And that's how we work with the language of business versus the language of the
Right.
legal terms. And for customers, that's everything. You need to be able to understand and work in your language. The AI takes care of translating that into the agreement language.
That's cool. And so finding things, understanding is great. But my guess is there's got to be, like, once you get into AI and doing stuff with finding and searching, my guess is that that you can move into the insights phase as well. Can you tell us about that?
That's right. So now, once you have all this information, you want to run your business on it. The examples I gave before, you want to know things like how many agreements are coming up for renewal. You don't know. Maybe there's tons of them, and you need to plan your finances on this. Maybe you want to know legally how many agreements you have rights to terminate because you want to do some restructuring. Maybe you want to know how your sales team is doing and look at the data and the agreements on the sales cycle. So we provide a dashboard for that. We provide an environment that not only allows you to work, as you saw, with searching, filtering, finding, but then taking all that information that's in your agreements, putting it into a structured dashboard. So now you have a view of your business reflected by the reality of agreements. So now you know what's coming up, what should I pay attention to, who do I need to go after, when and what is my business looking at importantly focused on. And all of that is available again via Navigator.
All right, let's take a look.
Yeah, go ahead.
Once the agreement is signed, it will be automatically saved in Docusign Navigator, where key insights about the agreement are automatically extracted with AI, and where the agreement will be easy to search and report on. These insights fuel powerful dashboards, like the one shown here, which helps you understand how many of your agreements include non-standard terms, the average sales cycle time, and where your agreements sit in the contract lifecycle. These insights will help you streamline your processes and accelerate future sales cycles and help you keep track of the non-standard terms you have committed to, ensuring you maintain compliance and stay in good standing with the account for upcoming renewal and expansion opportunities.
Again, that's really cool. And my sense is that there's got to be some underlying artificial intelligence powering it. Now, our community is fairly technical, so you can dive in. What are some AI things that you're doing to help power this experience?
Yeah, so it goes back to what I described before. So first of all, we start off by having what's called a semantic model. The semantic model is what describes the agreement. In fact, it maps the semantics to certain structured data. The AI, as I described before, extracts the information in the documents. It looks for similarity. It looks for extractions. And the way we do this is we actually leverage Azure OpenAI. OpenAI, we use it to go and, as I said, extract key terms that you saw, the renewals, status, parties, payment, etc. We also use, regex. We also use other kinds of models, BERT-based models, and we crack open these things, put them in the semantic model in the structured data. Now, when you have a structured data model, you are able to go off and do these kinds of visualizations that you saw. No different than what people might be doing with things like Power BI, where you have a semantic model and you do slicing and dicing of data. So quickly in a nutshell, think about it as using LLMs, using simple regex, combinations of last gen LLMs, things like BERT, and combining all of that together into a chain, something like LangChain, if you will, and working together with that to deliver the extractions into this model, and then from there doing the visualization.
And that's amazing. It's like you're using all the tools in the toolbox to solve a very specific problem, which everyone relates to. So speaking about everyone relating to these problems, are you leveraging some of these AI capabilities to help the customer? So next time I got to sign an agreement, how is Docusign helping me as a consumer and the organization that is providing this agreement to me?
Yes, I mean, even today, just if you were to go off and use Docusign, in some instances, what you'll find on top of your agreement flow is a little drop down that says, tell me what this is. So we'll summarize what's in the agreement you're signing. So all the way, you talked about a stack of papers you can go sign. Let me ask you, ever read that stuff? Do you know what you're signing?
I used to not. I do a little bit more, but not well, to be honest.
For most people, they just eyes glaze over and they're like, where do I sign? But we tell you, we summarize for you. These are things you're signing. Here are the important pieces. Pay attention to this. And then simple things like you get an employment contract. You look at this thing. How many days do I get off? What happens if I don't stay in the job for more than a year? Do I owe money? Who knows, right? All the way to buying, maybe $1 billion deal. People don't understand very well what they're signing, and we very easily provide a summarization. That's a simple example. If you're a consumer, what do we do for you? Beyond that, we actually help create end-to-end solutions. So someone wants to go off and have open a bank account or work with simple consumer flows. There are many steps in that. We allow the creators of these solutions to stitch things together, all the way from looking at an ID to signing to doing a summary that I talked about. And that ID verification, who are you? Are you who you say you are? Is also powered by AI. It's vision. AI vision looks at who you are, understands your similarities. Okay, I know you're Seth. Go ahead and sign it, etc., etc. So it's all parts and pieces of that agreement process. We allow you to stitch them together, create a simple solution, and many parts of the solution then are powered by AI as an assistant to make that process much easier.
And that's cool that at every aspect of let's be honest, signing agreements is kind of a could be a stressful situation in some cases, but having the ability through DocuSign to use AI to soften the edges around the whole experience seems awesome. And I think you brought a video. Let me go ahead and play it.
Let's go ahead. Let's see it.
Imagine if you could invite your customers to a personalized transaction space. A one-stop hub where they can upload documents, complete agreements, and fill out forms. Your customer sees a list of tasks that they need to complete. They start with the account opening form. They are prompted to verify their ID with a text message to start the process. They snap a photo of their driver's license, and then it is verified in real time. Once the ID has been verified, they can choose to store that information with the digital ID wallet to speed up future interactions where a verification is required. Most of the information is already pre-populated for the customer from the initial ID verification step. However, there are a few fields that need to be filled in, like the Social Security number, which is verified in real time, ensuring that the information provided is accurate before the document is signed. Once that form is complete, the customer is presented with a document for signature that includes an AI-generated summary of what was filled out in the form. When done reviewing, the customer can sign and complete the agreement. Your customer accomplished this in one easy, automated, and fast experience.
I mean, This is really cool. It just, I don't know. Like I said, when I signed for my first house ever, it was like we had, I don't know what, I don't even remember but there was like an official name. Oh, it's called closing. Like you would have to
Yeah,
show up
right.
and it's
Yeah.
just nice that you're able to do all of this online, and all of the niceties along the way were pretty cool.
And all the information about you is already available because you have verified your ID. Again, we understood who you are. We saved you time, and time is money, and for everyone concerned. So that's what we do. We make your life
Yeah,
easier.
and now that you're saying $1 trillion, I could totally see that, all the time that's wasted on this stuff. So before we finish up, I wanted to see, because we talked about a bunch of the AI stuff that you're doing along the way. Can you tell us
Yeah.
about the Microsoft DocuSign partnership and what kind of stuff you're using to make this work?
Yeah, so as I said before, we have very close partners with Microsoft. All the AI stuff you saw, very much powered by Azure OpenAI, Azure AI, ML Studio, those kinds of things, the OCR, AI Vision, you name it. We are deep, deep, deep into that stuff, and we're doing it since day one. Well, we're very close there. But beyond the AI pieces, we are also deeply integrated in the overall Microsoft ecosystem. So Power Automate, for example, is one of our fastest growing integrations. We're working on, we're the first partners with Microsoft to deliver on Copilot for sales. We are working with the Microsoft team on this, and you'll see that in the Copilot for M365. We were integrated in Teams, we integrated into SharePoint, working with various pieces of Dynamics. Like we are all in work with Microsoft. And if you are a customer of Microsoft, just go to the Azure Marketplace, and then you can acquire these DocuSign solutions as easy as that, using your, maybe your commitments to the Mac budget, etc., with Microsoft. So we are a very, very close partner, and our customers get the benefit of it because Microsoft's great, and Microsoft also powers and gives us technology that we can go and provide this value back to our customers, our mutual
I mean,
customers.
this is amazing. Just to finish up, where can people go to find out more? Obviously, your website for sure. You just did a cool rebrand.
That's right. So Docusign.com, go there, all kinds of information out there. We have a specific site for Microsoft stuff. That's Docusign.com, integrations, Microsoft. You can find information there. But again, the last one is around the Copilot, which is there's a blog that we have, and you can see the little thing down there on your video. So just go look, and there's all kinds of interesting solutions coming out that between our two companies. You'll get value out of.
Well, this has been amazing, my friend. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you. My pleasure.
And
totally.
thank you so much for watching and learning all about exploring the future of agreement management with DocuSign, my friend. Well, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Take care. All righty. All right, let's see what we got in the chat. I can put the music on. That was the official part. So now we can let our hair down, whatever hair I've got left. By the way, I was last night I was telling my kids and my wife, hey, I'm doing a show with DocuSign, and my daughter was like, well, what is that? And I was like, oh, it's where you can agree to agreements online. And it's like, oh, well, you wouldn't want to do that. And my wife was like, absolutely, you would. And here's why. Here's the goodness. She's like, oh. So, by the way, I converted another one to that stuff. All right.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Here it is. This is a comment from John. LLM's getting leverage in new and exciting ways. Absolutely. I think this is a tremendous way to use it, right?
Absolutely. I mean, the things that we haven't even scratched the surface, actually. Right now, we're using LLMs, to help us, get pieces out of the agreement, summarizing. But then, looking ahead, you can imagine all kinds of interesting ways to, generative AI and getting things together. All kinds of things we could be doing. And again, I think we just getting started.
Here's David saying, I bought my car totally online using DocuSign. Interesting experience, and it went so smoothly. I recently had to buy a car because my daughter started driving, and it was nice.
Ooh.
It was nice.
Yeah. I mean, that's the power of being sort of completely online.
Yeah. And then here's another one. but this is more general. Because I generate pre-trade transformers for specific use case is what 2024 will be all about, which is cool. I mean, you could imagine a language of agreements, having a fine-tuned model for
Yeah.
that stuff too.
Yeah, in fact, that's something that we do look forward
Cool.
to. Yeah.
All right, my friend. Well, it's been a pleasure being with
Okay.
you. Any other things you'd like to add for the good folks here?
I just say that, hey, I hope you're using DocuSign. It's an amazing way to make your life easier, and we are all about doing that. Just making sure that you get value out of all these agreements that you're signing, and just stay tuned. There's lots of interesting.
Well, hopefully we'll have you on soon again, my friend, with some new stuff.
My pleasure.
Right,
Thank you again. Take care. Bye.
All right, that's so cool. How I don't know. Like we do our show, right? And then I'm like, look at all the stuff you could do. And to finally have someone on that's like, here's what we did do, and here's how your life is better. I think it's just fantastic, right? And so I'm a huge fan of that stuff. All right. So let's see here. Let me go back to sharing my screen here. Which screen should I share? This one. Screen number 3. Oh man, I'm like trying to push the button and it's just not working here. So share screen, entire screen, screen 3, share. All right. So Carol, I don't remember where we left off on the last show. I don't even remember what we did. David, how do I sign up for future shows? Well, if you go to aka.ms AI Show Live, by the way, you can totally. We have a YouTube channel. If you look here, I'll put this card up again real quick, and let me remove this. I'm just like putting things all over the place here. What is going on with me? You can watch, like, and subscribe at YouTube at the AI Show Live. You can go there, and we put all of our stuff there. We also put our stuff on Learn TV. Or I don't think it's called Learn. It's called Microsoft Learn now. It's not Learn TV anymore. So you can totally go there and get our stuff from there. And like I said, we try to do a show every week. Modulo, something happening. Like next week, I'm going to be in South Korea, and so we may put together like a best of show and like play that. I think that's what I'm going to do, to be honest. And we'll get that over to you. But sometimes we have Cassie. Cassie is one of our other hosts, and we may have more hosts do this stuff. But again, we have a live show every week, Monday at 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. If more content comes along, we might put more, but you can totally go to that. Okay, so I'm trying to remember. By the way, Carol's our producer in the background. She's fantastic. None of this stuff happens without her help. So I'm trying to remember where we finished off. So let me go back to my project here. Oops. And I'm glad I did not open it because I got secret stuff. Where is it? So open folder, Azure samples, Contoso chat. Boom. Okay. So this is the application that we were working on last time, but I don't remember where I left off, if I'm being honest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick overview of prompt flow. It looks like I'm using some older versions of the connections, but I will fix that. Prompt flow is a low-level declarative orchestrator that allows you to put together like these things. So, for example, here, let me see if I can open it up. Contoso chat. By the way, you can't access this even if you were to go to it. I think I blocked it just so Microsoft employees can look at it, only because my Azure bill is so high that I was trying to, make it better. So, for example, by the way, as I close this, notice I'm logged in as Sarah Lee. Man, come on, type. What is the matter with you, Seth? Why am I not having okay. What can you tell me about your jackets? Right, and then Control-Shift-I because, oh no, stateful inline icon flag errored out. That's not good. But you can see I wanted to put the input and the output, and so, for example, this prompt flow thing took 2 seconds the return. It's using GPT-3.5 Turbo in the back end. And notice that the answer that it gets is, what can you tell me about my jackets? And it's like, hi, Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Based on your previous purchases, you might like our Summit Breeze jacket or Rain Guard hiking jacket. Both jackets, blah. The blah, 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 blah. It's pretty nice. And here's the response, and then here's the context that it returned. So it looks like it returned like 2 jackets and a hiking boot setup. And it didn't talk about the hiking boots because they were not relevant. And then there's the URLs for these things as well. So I could do more. So how does one build an application of this nature is what we're building. So Obvi, this all works in the Azure AI Studio. So you could totally build and do all the draggy droppy stuff here. But we have heard, and at least for me, it's the case, that sometimes you don't want to do this online. You know, you kind of want to do it in your own environment. And so this here, what you're looking at is the online representation of this thing that I'm showing you here. So, I mean, maybe I can put them like side by. You see, like it literally, like it even almost looks the same, except this one is in a better position because it's in dark mode. Dark mode. Sorry, I wanted to do that because dark mode. I don't know. I grew up when watching DuckTales and Darkwing Duck, and so dark mode. I'll always think Darkwing Duck. But now I think I've revealed my age. Sorry. Okay, so let's run this here. Let's see if it works. I don't even know. I haven't run it in a while. So let's see. The connection is not valid for LM response. Are you sure? Let me open it again. Because I think you are valid. Yeah, I knew it. You are valid. I think this is like an affirmation I need. I'm like a halfway broken piece of code, and I need the affirmation of saying like you are. Oh, now you're not valid. I've just validated you. I think this is all this code needed. You know, on a Monday morning, it just needed some validation of like, hey, you're awesome. I feel like I need to put some music here. Code. You might think you don't matter or don't work, but you do. I will make you work. I don't know. That last part didn't feel so. I'll make you work. That was kind of awful. Maybe like this is like code. Like I'm not working. It's okay, code. We'll get through this together. Yeah. All right, let's run it. Let me hear run it. So dumb. I'm like a 5-year-old. What's wrong with me? But anyways, look at this. This is prompt flow running. And basically each of these nodes represents, you know, some kind of semantic like encapsulation of stuff. So for example, this does the question embedding. So this does, you can see the question embedding here. You can see that total tokens, prompt tokens. You can see the input, you can see the output. Avi, like looking at this ginormous vector, 1,523. Oh, 36, 1,536 in length. You can just see this, like it's the matrix. I could totally see inside it. I can see, look, this is the part where jackets is mapped to -2, -0.02, right? That's where that's coming. And then once we get the embedding, right, we're gonna retrieve the documentation, and this is just code, right? So you can actually see the code going in here. And then this is where we look up the customer. So for example, customer 6, by the way, what was the full response here? Did we not get the oh no, I think the response is streamed. So that's why I don't get the full response. Maybe. Oh, maybe we do. There we go. Thank you for your question. Hi, Jane. Thank you for your question about your jackets. Super small, so let's get big. This answer, the reason why it knows Jane is because we did a customer lookup, right? And this code is, again, it's just code. Customer ID is pulled from the Cosmos client. The orders are reserved for the last 2 orders so that can be ragged in retrieval augmented generation. I don't like that. I don't like that acronym. If I'm being honest. You know what I'm saying? I don't like it. And then this is where the prompt is. So if you look at it, this is the prompt that's injected in. You can see here, everything is injected in there. And you can see the way that it's injected in is the customer prompt takes values. And then those values are then looped over. And this is the thing that's making the prompt. And by the way, please ask your questions. If you have questions, like I may go too fast. Funny story. You ever been to the zoo? Everyone's like, wow, this is going to be a tangent. You ever go to the zoo and you're like, you go to the monkey house and you're like, smells pretty bad. It's stinky. And your kid's like,
Dad, it's so stinky in here.
I know, son.
Why does it smell so bad?
Because monkeys throw feces at each other.
No way.
Yes. I mean, this kind of conversation you have with your kid, right? And what happens is, the longer you stay in the monkey house, the less you notice the smell. Not because the smell has decreased, but because your tolerance to it has. And so, anyway, in short, I am in the monkey house, and whatever stink comes off of this in terms of like not understanding, I've been in the monkey house for a long time. And sometimes even ask my peoples, are we in the monkey house? Should we get someone else to come in here and just be like,
whoa, stinky.
You know? Sometimes we need something like that. So here we go. This is this thing. And then the values get injected down there. And then finally, this is an LLM call itself. This LLM call also has a prompt. And so this is what I do. And here's the thing I noticed for this stuff. The last thing you put into the LLM, it really wants to pay attention. You know what I'm saying? It really wants to pay attention to the last thing. And so that's what it does. And so when I run it, you can see that the full response that comes out of this thing is, I think it's in the, no, this is the terminal. Yeah, here it is. This is the full thing. Hi, Jane. Thank you for your question about jackets. We have a couple of options that might interest you. Our Summit Breeze, I feel like it's a sale. This is more like a sales thing. Hi, Jane. Thank you for your question about our jackets. We have a couple of options that might interest you. Our Summit Breeze jacket, catalog number 3, is great for outdoor adventures. It features a windproof design, water-resistant fabric, and reflective accents that make it perfect for night treks. You know, I've been told I have a voice for radio. A face for radio. That was the thing. But that's what this is coming out of this. And so, and the way you run these things, incidentally, is let me open it here. I put an eval. Did I put an eval? No, I put it in here. And the way you run these things in code is you're like, well, once I build this, how do I run it? The way you run it is like this. I scrolled a lot, and then it got scary. This is how you run them. PF client question. Can you tell me your tense? And then you point it to the folder of the prompt flow, and then you pass in the vowels that you want. And so when you run this, I wonder if I can run it. Beep boop, beep boop. Can you please take a minute a tough decision. No thanks. So there you go. Notice that it just ran it locally, and then when I do this, boop. Hi Emily, thank you asking. Attention to blah. Prefer 4 occupants. You see that? And then if I change like, I don't know, it's jackets. What can you tell me about your shoes? And then I don't know, customer number 7. You can see that it like it runs it right. There you go. Hi Jason Brown. I'd be delighted to tell you about our Trail Walker hiking shoes. And again, this stuff all just comes from like a vector index that we stored. And then these are the documents that it fetched from the vector index. And so this is just ragged in. And so this is how you do code first stuff with prompt flow. At Microsoft Build, we're gonna even add some more deliciousness in a couple of months on this. Oh hey Beldathas, it's been a while. No calls. We don't hang out anymore. Is it something I said? Probably. So then the next question that we have is, okay, like notice that I'm spitball testing this stuff, which is not useful. You know what I'm saying? How do you know this stuff actually does the right thing? You know? And the way you do that is through evaluations. And so let me show you what those look like here in the. Oh, I went from like dark mode to like regular mode, and that's like, oh man, that is bright. Oh snap, that is some brightness there. The way you evaluate is there's these built-in evaluations. Confirm. Oh wow, look at this. This is new. What does this do? Open with. Oh snap, did it just write these for me? I think it just invented this stuff. What? And let's word. Wow, that's new. Word wrap. Which tent is the most waterproof? From the product list, the Alpine Explorer tent is the most waterproof. Wow, this is cool. So basically what it did, if I'm understanding this right, is it downloaded a data template for this scenario, which is awesome. What about this one? What if we do this? No context. Open with Visual Studio Code. View. Word wrap. This is cool. So it downloads sample things. Yeah, and what we did is we had stuff in here for that. So for example, here's the data for us, right? Here's the sales test data, which you can see it needs more stuff though. Like ours needs a customer ID, but the fact that this has some examples is pretty cool. So we'll close that. Okay, we'll close that. All right. So question answer without context, conversation. We just want this. We want the QA with context. Next, we're going to use an existing data set. Sales test data. Next. Oh, sorry. How do I go back? Back. You can see that this is literally like the same thing as this thing. Like it's almost exactly the same thing because that's what we uploaded. And then next. And then you can test for all of these things. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. But then when you do this, it's going to start to ask you for like, we want this one. And we want GPT-4, right? And then this is the new one. This is one you haven't seen before. These are things that you can measure for. Like is the language model going to say something untoward? Which is really cool. So you can check on those things too. And then you can map the data. So the context here is the source the response is generated from. There should be a flow output. Something's not right here. So this is the this is a question, but something's not right with this evaluation. Maybe I need to run it first. Contoso chat. Maybe I need to run it first to get it to work. Confirm. Next. Yeah. There, now it's working. You can see that the question comes from the output next. Then you can measure stuff like this. Doop, beep, 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 beep. Do we have a GPT-4 in there? We surely do. We surely do. And then hit next. And then you can run this thing, right? And the cool thing is that it does the evaluation. And you're like, well, what is it? How is it doing the evaluation? Or what is it that's going on? So you can actually do this in code first as well. You can see it here in the evals. So here's the evaluation for groundedness. And notice that this flow is taking you to the groundedness flow. And the groundedness flow is nothing but a measurement of groundedness that uses another prompt flow. Man, why does it do that? There we go. This is the actual groundedness flow. And you can see that it effectively has a prompt that scores like, hey, how good are you at doing this stuff? Yeah. And you can see that directly in here. And so this you can run also. And so you can see when I run this here, now when I run this one, it's running a local flow. And then it's testing groundedness. Looks like groundedness is like a 1. This is terrible. What can you tell me about your shoes? Look at the context, though. The Great Wall of China can be seen from space. Of course, it's getting a terrible score. So let's put in the actual context. So output context. So output context. Let me see here. We want this one. So then when I go over here, I'm going to put output text. Yep. And now when I run this, groundedness is 5. Right? And so you can see that like when I put the information back in, this thing is doing a great job. Which is really cool. So this is how you measure groundedness in PromFlow. And then what you can do is you can send these things to the cloud, so you can store those. I think let's see the one I'm doing currently if it's showing up yet. Let me go to batch runs here. Refreshing. Refreshing. By the way, if you're looking at this code and you're like, I wish I had this. If you go to github.com, Azure samples, Contoso Web has the website, right? You can see that in here. So 5 months ago, I actually need to start changing stuff to make it a little bit better. So that's Contoso Web, and then Contoso Chat has all of this code that you've been seeing. So like I've been in here, I've been in the eval place. Oh, this guy's sleepy. Sorry about that. And you can see all of this stuff is in there. So make sure you go to that. Contoso Chat and Contoso Web. And by the way, all those pictures that you saw on the Contoso Web, they're even here, right? You can totally see them here. Boop. Look at that. Public images. Here are all the images. Look at that beautiful tent footage. You're looking at this and you're like, that feels a little AI generated. How did you ever know? How could you ever tell? I picked the best ones. This is the Trailmaster X4 tent, Dolly 3. Okay, you made a little mistake. but it's pretty good. I mean, Trailmaster, and that was made from Dolly 3. And so take a look at all those. All right, so let's see if we have all of the evaluations here yet. Let's see. Did we do one? So the last one we did is this one. Oh. There used to be a table here. I don't know where the table went. Where are the tables now? And here's the jailbreak defect, which is good too. So deltas are in there. So let's do this one. Contesto chat eval, Contesto chat sales. Yeah, you can see like these things compared against each other. This is cool. Yeah, and so that's how you do this stuff. This particular. Oh snap! We are almost out of time. I got to put the walk-off music here. But yeah, this is Azure AI Studio. Notice that there's a really tight integration between like what you do locally and what you do online. So this is again the prompt flow that I was showing you. When you build these applications, you can actually deploy them pretty easily to Azure AI Studio. So for example, this is the Contoso Chat Store one. You'll also notice how it has this name. This name comes from GitHub. It's a SHA of the commit. So let's go back to the GitHub and let me show you that. Here you go. Here's the GitHub actions. Notice that something gets fixed. Look at this. Oh, wow, this is cool. I don't know what that is at all. I'm not that smart. Oh, CodeSpace pre-builds. How delightful is this? Looks like there's a test and evaluate Contoso, right? So this is the last time this thing ran. And so this thing is amazing. Look at this. Look at this goodness. So every time you check stuff in, I don't think I showed this part. By the way, here's all the things. Deploy, here's run intent, run, here. So you look at all this stuff, you're like, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff. Really, it's just command line stuff. Oof. The cool thing about this stuff, though, is like, it's all just a command line thing. That's not bad. This thing, though, this is, whew. Huh. Whew. It's like, like how, you're, how when you do these GitHub action stuff for this stuff, it's like, nobody touch it. Nobody touch it. Right? Nobody touch it. Once you get it working, don't touch it. Right? I mean, that's like once you, this feels like one of those. We might have to figure out how to make this easier too. I mean, that's on us. I feel like that's on us. Alrighty, friends. We are about out of time on this episode of the AI Show. It's been a pleasure and a privilege being with you. Next time on the AI Show, top secret, we may have something on Thursday at 8:30. It may not pan out though. So special live show. We'll replay some of that on the Monday after, and I'll get a best stuff going. But like and subscribe for notifications. YouTube.com/@the AI Show Live. I tried to get the AI Show. Someone had it. I tried to get AI Show. They had that. The AI Show Live. And there's like the official AI Show. I don't know. This is not an official. I mean, I guess this is kind of official because sometimes when not enough referees show up at my son's soccer game, they might have me be there at the sideline as an official. And so official. And then Monday, April 29th, I'm going to put some best ofs together and then do a little replay because I'll be in South Korea. I might even show up if it's the middle of the night, But as always, it's a privilege and a pleasure to be with every one of you. I know your time is valuable and that you spend it with us is awesome. This has been another episode of the AI Show. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Catch you later. bye.